Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wrap Up Show. Today's going to be a little different, like it was last week, where we just are going to have a couple people on panel. Um, on the show today, there was a bunch of people in the back, the private chat area, cloning and doing all kinds of horrible things. And so I think opening up the link to everybody isn't such a great idea. So I'm just waiting for Charmin to show up, but we do have Jake Hudson. Welcome, Jake.
Yeah, I went to change my shirt because I didn't want to
Good.
wear didn't want to bring that other shirt on because last week
I get
was
it.
uh,
Charmin. Thank you, Charmin. Hi, Charmin.
uh,
Charmin,
All
what did you
right.
think? What did you think about the show today?
I think it's a good timing for a break. I think that
Absolutely.
there's a lot of chaos going on, and a reset is definitely in order for the holidays. 2023 can be something new.
Yes, I agree with
Whatever
you.
whatever it takes to break
Hi,
the
Michael.
toe, I approve of. I'm very happy, Jake, that you took that shirt off because
Yeah,
that's
thank you for
definitely
changing your
not
shirt.
in the spirit of Kermit and Friends.
yeah. I'm
Whatever's going
sorry.
on with that, we don't wanna encourage
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot that I had that shirt on. I forgot, and
That's okay.
I was my first thing is here's the thing. I should have before clicking on the link should have went and changed the shirt.
That's
Well, I'm
okay.
actually I'm actually kinda glad you did it. How long have you known this toe guy to own a shirt?
I've
Great
actually known
question.
I known this guy since 2020. He's
Okay.
been he this is not the first time that he but here's the thing, he doesn't like me either. He said he made a comment on a show saying the reason why he doesn't use StreamYard is because of me.
What'd
Now,
you do?
just to clarify real quick, Charmin, that I've never heard of the Steel Toe Show until Jake came into our arena, and he was
Yeah,
talking about them a month ago when we
yeah,
first met Jake.
yeah,
I didn't watch him until the other day when he was just shredding Elisa apart. And
yeah,
Jake was brought up in that conversation, and they were basically calling Jake retarded. And they were saying, we don't like him. You know, we were really good to Jake. We don't like him. He's just a retarded guy from Mississippi. So it's clear to me that they didn't value him in any aspect. And they were just trying to do exactly what they say that she does. And what their thing with her is that she says that she uses mentally ill people for her own benefit. It sounds like that's exactly what they were trying to do with Jake because they see him as mentally ill and they
yeah,
were utilizing him for content.
yeah, and I do apologize about I do apologize.
It's okay, Jake. Don't worry. It's
It's
not your fault.
Okay.
here's the thing. It's like they treated me good at first, but then they treated me like I was Jeff the drunk from the Howard Stern. They treated me like they wouldn't take my calls. They wouldn't, and then stuff happened. And
What
Well,
ki what kinda stuff happened?
like they're blaming me for them getting
wow. Thank you,
swatted.
Noodles. I
They're
appreciate
blaming
it.
me for stuff like them getting swatted or CM getting swatted. I'm not gonna say who CM is. Uh, Weezy,
Well, the reason they were blaming you is because wasn't somebody using your information in
yeah,
order to swat these people?
yeah, and by the way, I did change that number. By the way, I did change that Google Voice number.
Well, the important thing to remember is that Elisa was swatted first. And Toe, if you're watching, I will give you the link to come up here and I'll shred you because you don't have any facts. You don't have any of the facts. You say all of the wrong things when it comes to what happened. Elisa was swatted before anybody else. And you said that it's her crew that are swatting people. However, when you were on Chrissy Mayer's stream, that's when she got swatted. When
Yeah.
you were on Bob Levy's stream, that's when he was swatted. So to me, if I was a detective, I'd be looking at you and your crew more than Elisa's crew, who she
Yeah.
was just swatted independently. And these other people were swatted when you were involved with their show. It doesn't look good.
It's just too
And
much swatting.
you
Way too
know,
much swatting.
you know, thank God, I took a break from streaming. But the reason is, by the way, I hit 1K subs today.
Congratulations, Jake.
Congratulations.
And I worked so hard for it, and and now I got to get the watch hours, and then I can be like Weezy and Lisa and have monetization.
Well, let's stay on track here. I do want to keep up with the steel toe stuff because I noticed something that was pretty cheap today. They were doing a live this morning, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this seems familiar. They were literally replaying the live that he did 4 days ago, making it look like it was a live stream now. It was just replaying the same fucking recording that he had about Elisa, which proves to me one point.
Yeah.
He's using Elisa for content.
And
I mean, that's all he's doing.
Yesterday, he showed the Iowa episode. The reason why he got kicked off of radio is because of he talked bad about a lady from Iowa, Aaron M. Holt. The guy's name is Aaron M. Holt.
Well, we don't need to dox people. I don't want to have. I don't want to do any of that.
Enough problems.
I just want him to know that if he's watching, come on up here, bub. I'm not afraid to have a conversation with you, and it's very clear to me what you're doing. You're trying to turn people against her, but it's not going to go well for you because you're using half truths and you're basically being a bitch about it. And you even tried to drag people into it that like, who are these podcasts? Carl, who is Elisa's friend. And so he was defending her, and you had to backtrack because you're saying that Elisa is the one swatting. Could you imagine that Elisa's calling these numbers from a fucking blocked number trying to swat people? Do you think she even watches your shows? She doesn't. She had no idea who you are. She still thinks your name is Toe. Noodles, welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
what's up, Noodles? How you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, the same crap that they did to Jake that they've been doing to me for like 3 years, dude. So
you know of these people too.
You've known of these people.
Well, I know the tactic. Yeah, they've done it to me. They do it to a lot of people. And Jake, I mean, no offense to you, but you come across as like a slow adult, and they target people like that. And I used to play a character, and I really believed that they thought I might have had like some kind of disability.
So you're the Dave that they talk about.
Again, let's not swat it, or let's not dox anybody.
No. They on their show they're talking about a Dave that's been bothering them.
Right, but we don't need to know anybody's first name at all.
I'm sorry.
That's not why we're. That's not what we're doing. But I will say that Noodles, like your character, and I know that you've played different characters. It's very convincing. I know people that don't like you based on the fact of stuff that you say or do while playing that character. So when they saw you playing one way or another, do you think that that's when that you became a target for them?
I think that I became a target, and I also think that I allowed it too. That's one thing that I think that, I could have left. I could have, just said whatever and left, and I didn't. And I used everything.
I mean, truck.
When I was getting swatted, I used it for content. I said to myself, they aren't going to kick me out of here. They're not going to run me off, and I'll just use everything that they throw at me for content, and I'll get views for it. And there were a lot of people that didn't do that, and they've been very successful at running people off with that stuff. So, Jake, I'm just letting you know, man.
I'm staying away from. I'm actually. The thing is, I'm just trying to do what's best for me now. And by the way, it was a great KAF was 10 stars today.
It's a great guest. Don't we like Jen? Wasn't she wonderful?
Yeah, I thought she was great. She was there for an hour, which is like not easy to do. She took the criticism
She handled Ski Mask Andy.
Those kinds of things, which is funny because at first Ski Mask was so well behaved, then all of a sudden he jumped off the fucking deep end. I'm like, oh,
he's only good for like 3 minutes tops.
I enjoy Ski Mask. I think he's funny, but he does push the envelope for a reaction a little bit, and it was kind of crazy.
And I think it's a good idea for them to take a break for a little while.
Well, I want people to know that Elisa is going to take a break, and it has nothing to do with Steel Toe. So when Steel Toe hears that she's taking a break, know that it was planned. That your little show has nothing to do with deterring her at all. Your 7 viewers that were coming after me today when I commented on your show and I was owning their asses, and then you erased my messages. Those guys aren't intimidating. You think that you're like some kind of like big shock jock radio guy. You got a horrible voice. You've got nothing for content, so you have to drag your poor wife, who doesn't like you, into this situation. Her body language tells the whole story. She's leaning against you the whole entire time.
Yeah,
and you're using Elisa for content. So it proves to
and
me
using me for content. They used to use me for freaking content. I wrote their theme song when they were on Twitch. I wrote the song. I should have never followed them. I should have never subbed to them because if I knew what I knew now about them, I should have never did it. I should have never found them.
Well, Noodles, what do you think? I mean, do you think that Jake is the reason they are coming after Elisa? Why would they think that Elisa has to do with any of the swatting?
I mean, without saying it, I think you know exactly who it is, who I think it is.
I know who you think it is.
I think that this person, from what I've seen for the past 3 years, manipulates people into getting in fights with other channels, other YouTubers. Again, dude, I'm not, again, it's 3 years that I've been dealing with this. And I'm telling you.
How's the process work? So he likes to go to other shows and pick fights between shows?
So he'll become your friend. He'll become your friend, right? And for instance, if he became your friend Charmin, he would, tell you about certain things, and you would tell him about certain things, and you would gain trust with this person. And I've seen him do it over and over again. And then he goes in as you, or tries to start trouble as you. He'll get your phone number without you knowing. He'll call up. He'll call pizza places, deliver pizzas in your name without you knowing, with your phone number attached to it. He starts trouble like that. Especially, and here's the thing: you would be smart enough to figure it out, right? You'd be smart enough, whatever. But he does it to a lot of disabled people, and I wouldn't put him past him to do such a thing to Elisa and Steel Toe.
And he was on. Well, Steel Toe was on Bob Levy and Chrissy Mayer's channel on their streams as a guest when they were swatted.
Right. Yeah, I reached out to Bob. I gave him some information about what was going on.
Can I say something?
It was disappointing. Hold on, Jake. It was disappointing to see the Twitter thread of both Chrissy Mayer and Bob Levy just kind of taking this Steel Toe guy's word for it that Elisa had something to do with it, because she's been very accommodating and nice to both of them, and she was also swatted. So just the fact that he wants to turn people against people with no evidence, not knowing what the fuck is going on, proves to me that it's just like it's a way for him to try to get content or use content so he can get attention. He's probably has more viewers last week than he's ever had before.
But what he does is again, he sees this stuff going on over at KAF, and the person that's doing it is definitely over there. This is the thing, man. I've dealt with it for 3 years. I was accused of this. I was accused of helping this guy out, etc. Everything you can imagine. They accuse you of. So,
right. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this though, like Charmin, what do you think about if you have somebody in your community that might be doing bad things, but there's no proof of it? How are you supposed to police that? Because if you were going to say, okay, people have been saying you're bad, now you're kicked from the community, then everybody would be talking about how everybody was bad, and then you wouldn't have a community. What is Elisa supposed to do? How is it her fault that somebody from her community might be doing something like this when he's obviously in these other communities? It's not just in Elisa's community. He's obviously in Chrissy Mayer's community. He's obviously in Steel Toe's community. He's obviously in Bob Levy's community because he's watching their shows when this happened. So how's it an Elisa fault?
I don't know how it's being pitched as an Elisa fault. It sounds to me like somebody has gotten into their ear and fed them with information that makes them think it's Elisa's fault, which is part of the triangulation game. It's hard to have a community, especially when you have a community full of trolls, because you attract trolls. And some trolls are trollier than other trolls. We seem to have found a very trolly troll. I don't know that you can just block him. I don't know that you can just ignore him, right? He's the kind of person, if he's the person responsible for this activity, he's the kind of person that somebody with some government clearance has to take out. He's a problem. He's a nuisance, a menace. He's wasting government funds by forcing the police to go to people's houses for no reason. He's a problem.
So, did you get the thing I sent you?
I didn't. Let me look real
All right.
quick.
So let me just explain it. All right. You know Michelle Marie Delaney,
Yes.
that woman, the Snow Queen.
Yes.
I sent you screenshots from Discord. All right, and what
yeah.
that person's saying. All right, they had her doing strip teases in private, also on live stream. They have them on. They have her on
Chatterbait.
Chat. Yeah. So this is what this person does, and this person's all over the place, and you will never get rid of this person unless this person's arrested.
Now I know that people have a feeling that it's one person. I know Noodles knows in his heart that it's one person. How come there's no, like, I know what you're gonna say, Noodles, because you've shown paperwork and stuff like that. How can somebody get away with all of this with actual like names being involved and like the damage is continuing? Like, how does it stop? Like, what is happening?
In my experience, the police say they're going to do a lot of things, and I can't confirm that they've ever done them. I really believe that it's just, hey, you know what, David Bulldoze just coming in and he's making these accusations. These things are real. Are we going to look into it? Maybe when we get a chance. But
yeah,
I've been asking people, hey, listen, I got this open case. These people are looking into that one person. All right. Maybe if there were other instances or incidents of things happening, maybe they'll push for it. I don't know.
And that's the confusing part, because I know how inept police can be in their job. And if you have 8 different incidents from 8 different states and 8 different times and 8 different people involved, it's not like they're all going to work together for the better of one thing. It doesn't work like that. Short of the FBI or somebody swooping in and saying, we're going to take this over. It's all different states and it's all different things happening. So I don't see, unless this person is like in a different country and he's not afraid. I got this beanie at Home Depot, in fact, but it's unless it's like in a different country where he's not afraid of the authorities, I don't see how he can continue getting away from it or getting away with it.
Well, because it's different municipalities, and there probably isn't one central agency like the FBI Cybercrimes Unit investigating this. Somebody has to go through the effort of filing the IC3 form with all the different events and putting it in front of the FBI with whatever documentation they can get so that the FBI even knows to look at it. That's a process in itself.
Yeah.
But it would have to be somebody who's been around him long enough that they can point the finger to all these different events and say, okay, all of this happened. All of these different people were doxxed. And I think this person is the person who's doing it, and it needs to be investigated. And that report needs to be filed with the FBI. They have a cyber crimes division, but it's going to have to be somebody who's close enough to these situations to be able to document it and point the FBI to each of the events so they know how to research it. Because the FBI can get the IP address. Even if a VPN is used, they can find you. They just have to know how to look and when to look and where to look.
Yeah, she's actually correct.
You said something important earlier, or I mean, Elisa said something important earlier. It's like, and we're doing the exact opposite of what we probably should be doing by giving it attention, but it's part of the show. Yeah. But what she said earlier was like, hey, if you want this to stop making videos about it. Stop going on Twitter and telling everybody about it and tagging everybody about it and replaying the video that you did last week, pretending it's a new premiere. Like that, there's something to that to be said. But then again, when it's kind of taking over and making it, at some point, it's not just content anymore. Like Elisa's been getting the short end of the stick for the last couple of days, basically for harboring a swatter. And like, if she's harboring a swatter, so is everybody else. And like, nobody can prove who it is. And that's the way. Thank you very much, J Prime. And that's the problem here. And I know, and I've heard, and I like Noodles. I get along with him great. Some people don't get along with Noodles. I think he's funny. I like his show. we're all not going to like the same people, but I know that Noodles knows who it is in his heart. But at the same time, I can't agree with him that it is that person because I haven't seen an iota of proof. Like there's been no proof. I've seen the paperwork and stuff like that, but there's been no proof of like this actually being this person that everybody is saying it is. And so, I mean, that's just so dangerous to me to have a bunch of people say, okay, it's definitely that guy. So now we all know that it's that guy.
Well, I will say this. That there is no proof.
Thank you,
that
Pixel.
an organization is looking into Jake. There's no proof that an organization is looking into Charmin, Wheezy, or myself. But there is proof that an organization, right, is looking into this botter account and whoever is running it, all right? And there's a reason why they're looking into it. If you contact those people, they'll tell you, okay? And that's the end of it. Dude, Wheezy, I don't know. It could be you, it could be Charmin, it could be Jake. I don't know. But they're looking into this account. They're trying to figure out who owns this account.
No, and I get that, Noodles.
Well, who's
I
that
definitely
agency,
get
and
that.
do we need to report these latest SWATs to that agency so that they have more information to research?
Can I
Who's
say
the-
it?
Yeah,
I mean,
you can say it.
Yeah, say it.
Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, the Cybercrimes Division, Detective David Dermody, and it's in Paramus, New Jersey. They are handling a child exploitation case through YouTube and via text through my phone and another phone. Yeah.
Have you reported these swatting incidences to them? You clearly
Yes,
know them.
they do not care about that. They're the only thing they care about is child exploitation. I've even
That's their division.
Yeah, and again, they told me I can go to hell if I go in there complaining about being harassed online. That's basically what the guy told me. All right.
That shows how
The only thing they
seriously
care
take it.
about is the child exploitation. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone. That person you got in there was making death threats to the president, to multiple people in that Discord. All right. I reported it to the Secret Service. The Secret Service doesn't care about the child pornography. They do not care about the harassment. They do not care about the swatting. They only care about the threats to the president that was said in that Discord. All right. And they're looking at one person. They're not looking at Wheezy. They're not looking at you. They're not looking at Jake. They're not looking at me.
Right. Now,
Have you
the
also
question,
made reports to the FBI? There's a cyber crimes unit there. You have enough other agencies. They can all coordinate together. Have you taken the time to do that?
Detective David Dermody has.
here's the question I have.
File updated reports.
If these people have had this guy's information for months, and we're guessing that they're looking into the information, and he's still, and this stuff is still happening, does that prove that it's not that person? I mean, at some point you have to be like, what the fuck is going on?
Investigations take a long time. Sometimes they take 2 to 3 years. And if it's the same person and he's continuing to do things, they need to be notified so they can add that into their investigation so they can take all that into consideration. It's not a slam dunk. It takes time. And if there's additional attacks and additional events, each of those have to be reported separately. You can't just go on the internet and complain about it. And honestly, the best way to get the FBI to move would be to get a couple of celebrities complaining about being attacked by this guy on Twitter. If you really want him investigated, let Chrissy Mayer and Bob run their mouths as much as they want. Tell Elisa to stop blocking them and start tagging everybody. That's the way you get their attention.
Well, Chrissy does have, she's part of Compound Media. She has a lot of eyes on her all of the time.
Yes, she does.
And so it's just going to take one.
This is a great way to get an investigation. Let Chrissy go and quit blocking her. I didn't know all this was happening.
Well, that was just, within the last day or two. And I don't blame Elisa for blocking them, because it's like they're literally making, not Chrissy, but these other guys are making video after video about her, and it's all slanderous and lies. They aren't saying any truth. So she's probably I'm not going to give it any attention. But you're right. If the right people are paying attention, then people will start. But I think that, I was wondering about that too, Chris. Where was Wappy today? I missed him like crazy.
He did a stream. He did like a 40-hour stream today.
And then another thing that I wanted to bring up is that there was supposed to be a guy, Kyle Unique, that always makes videos about Brendan Schaub. He was supposed to be on the show today, and he was absent. And I was wondering, like, what the fuck happened to him?
Well, I like Unique because Stuttering John doesn't like him, and Elise is about to start doing all this IRL stuff, and I'd like her to go meet Stuttering John at the bar.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it?
That's the IRL I want to watch.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Jake.
I've never made a video against KF. The thing is, when that audio was about Bad Corey, not Lisa Jordana, and I'm sorry about that. I love KF. I love what
I agree, Pixelbat. I agree. You're right. You're very right.
Thing is, and I'm sorry that I'm bringing it. I'm sitting over here drawing, and I even tried to start writing.
Is that a dick, Jake? Did you draw a big dick?
No, that is actually a rocket.
Oh, okay. Thank you, zombies.
Exactly what a rocket looks like.
I'm basically I'm like sitting here like disgusted. I'm sorry that I brought these guys into your community.
It's okay. You know what? I think that we should start talking about other things.
Because let's talk about the show. Let's talk about the show.
Pixelbat has a great point. Me bringing it up while telling you that it's not a good idea to bring it up is very silly. So
yeah, the show was good. The show was actually was good. And by the way, I did put on a Hollywood Hogan shirt.
Jake, let me interrupt you real quick. Zombies, if you are in Discord and you can message Leaf King, he will send you the link, but I'm not sharing this link publicly anymore after everything that's been going on, especially after the backstage today at Elisa's. That was disturbing. So it's not an open forum anymore. Unfortunately, I would love for it to be an open forum. Jake, just let me finish. I would love for it to be an open forum, but since this has all been happening, it's not. It's not going to be that way. As far as the future of Charmin and I and this show, I think that what we want to do and we intend to do is to keep it kind of like this, where there's only a couple people on panel instead of like the 9-person free-for-all that it has been in the past. And then either like on maybe like a Thursday or Friday night, wrapping up things that have happened in her IRL stream. And, depending on what's going on, we might just cover Discord stuff for like the community oriented stuff. But I intend to keep something going on so that people can have a voice and that people, especially anybody in our community, can be caught up on things that they might miss out on. And so I think that me and Charmin will keep doing stuff like this because we're all going to miss Elisa streaming. This show has been a big part of our lives for a long time. And there's gonna be a hole to fill, and I want to fill that void. And if Elisa's going to be IRL streaming, oh, thank you, Elisa. If she's going to be IRL streaming soon, that should give us plenty of content to go over and talk about. And she, like JJ, like if anybody's seen JJ in the past and then they saw him on her stream recently, it's like two different worlds. It's like it's not at all what you expect, and so those are fun things to talk about.
Good. That'll be fun. Yeah. And I think that'll keep us all together a little bit while we go through whatever the holidays are. We all know holidays can be difficult, and you want to keep a sense of community as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And like basically the happenings in Discord, imagine going 3 weeks without hearing about what happened. That's a year of missed information. So even if we keep up what's going on in the hermisphere, what I like to call it, then people will be a little bit in the know. And I don't expect her to be gone for long. I think it'll be kind of like a break from what's happening now, a break for the holidays. But I have a feeling that she's going to start missing the structure of the show, and then it'll come back better than ever. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think so too. And I do think that it's fun to keep up with everything that's going on in Discord, especially if you don't necessarily want to be in the thick of what's going on in Discord. You just want to hear. I really loved hearing today that Bob had been kicked out. I hope that lasts.
You don't even know. She kicked him out yesterday, and it was warranted.
She kicked him out?
Yeah, she kicked him out warranted. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't warranted. But he like waits like an hour and then he messages me. He's like, Weezy, and he never asks me. He's like, will you do a stream with me? And I did, and I was expecting Bob to be like all fired up. He was sad Bob. He was basically talking about politics, and I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for Bob. I love Bob.
Whatever
he's
sad, Bob.
Yeah. And so it was the most boring stream I've ever been a part of, but I enjoyed it because it was like, poor Bob. I mean, it's his fault. Believe me, I know. But it's
maybe
fun.
if she punishes some of the trolls, they will untroll themselves so that they can stay and be part of the group.
Thank you so much, Elisa.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's right. I mean, there's people that are our family, much like we have a regular family that are maybe estranged, that they're still going to be our family, even if they're rascals, even if they leave for a while, even if we're mad at them. A lot of people do care, even if they don't. Like Harry Brogan, for example. All he does is complain about Bob. If there's no Bob, well, then what are you going to talk about? So, he still serves a purpose. But yeah, I missed a couple of messages here. And yeah, this is what Elisa's saying, is that she's not just going to take off. She's just taking time off to focus on IRL. And so she didn't really announce it today, but we kind of knew that today was the last show for a while.
Bad move.
Go ahead, Noodles.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying bad move. Bad move.
Why?
Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like her IRL streams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really do. I actually despise them. I love the show.
Wow.
Hey, Noodles, why do you hate IRL?
Because, there's no real, you can't really focus on one thing. I must have like ADD or something like that. I just can't focus. And then sometimes the audio gets cut out and the streaming gets cut out and you can't follow.
I think that the difference between the IRL and the show, that the IRL really takes a lot of planning and prepping. I know that sounds weird because the show seems like it would take more, but the show's kind of like something that is it's a self-working machine. Once it gets going, it's going. And she's got Leafs helping. But with the IRL, there's a lot of planning and a lot of people are flaking. It's got to take so much time and effort and energy to pull one off successfully that it's probably too much for her to try to do both. And let's be honest, she's not making money off of this show, and she is making a little money off of the IRL. So I want her to be able to make money off the IRL and do well. If Captain can do it, she can do it. But I think that that's part of the reason she's taking a step back, because it takes so much time and dedication and energy pouring into the IRL stuff. And I think she's gotten better and better with every time she does it. I actually like it.
Yeah, I just hate IRL. I just don't like it.
Yeah, and it's important to hear that feedback too. Like if people don't like it, why don't you like it? Maybe she can take that in and with a grain of salt and be like, okay, maybe that. And even Leaf and I have given her constructive criticism, and she immediately like picks up on it, and she's always trying to do better. One thing I love about Elisa is that she cares about the quality of what she's doing. She wants people to love it. She wants people to be involved, and she really cares about the production value. And that's so rare with some people that they don't even really care. They just expect people to tune in. And so, I mean, it's got to be tough. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, when I see some of those live streams, my eyes get tired. I don't know how the hell she does it. When she was doing the regular stream, it's all the people calling in and all that stuff. She handles it very, very well, though. Very, very well. And that's why I really like her show.
She does a job that I think is so thankless, because people assume that would be easy. But like you said, Noodles, when she's taking different calls at the same time, micromanaging the people that are around her that oftentimes need a lot of micromanagement, God, that's like doing 5 things at once. And I don't know how I would do that.
He's really good at that.
Yeah. I think that she'll be successful doing it.
No, I think she will too. I think she'll be successful in whatever she does. I'm more curious from Noodles, since he has seen this game get played by these people, what he thinks will come next, so that we can kind of anticipate what's going to happen.
There's going to be like a slander campaign.
Smear campaign.
Yeah, and he's going to try to get you in fights with other YouTubers, which he's doing successfully right now.
Right now, yeah.
And he's also I'm really surprised that he hasn't gone after her dog yet. And you think I'm joking?
What do you mean gone after her dog?
So one of the tactics that this person uses, this person will call the ASPCA and report animal abuse. And 9 times out of 10, they'll come to your house, take your dog, and have your dog for observation. And it's kind of traumatic. And surprised he hasn't done that yet.
So what else does he like to do? It's on the list of things we should be prepared for.
How about this? How about this? I'll send Weezy a list of stuff that's been happening to me, and that I've seen happen to other people, and
Look at this comment. Don't trust Noodles. He's dressed up like Minnie Mouse.
Well, I mean, listen. All right, fine. You know what? I'm not feeling that great today.
You're fine. I'm not. That's not why.
But I do want to ask Noodles if you would be okay with Weezy sharing that list of things that has happened to you with me privately, not publicly. I do have a book that I am working on, and it does detail warnings to people of what could happen. Would you be okay with me sharing that and not crediting you, or do you want to be credited?
Well, I mean, if you want to credit me, that would be great.
I mean, the words and wisdom of Noodles.
Listen, I've done it for 3 years. I'm trying to make a documentary.
What have you been going through? One of the reasons I'm here is because I had experienced so much stalking privately, and I came here to Elisa and this show because she deals with her trolls differently, and I wanted to learn what could happen to me next to try to prepare myself. So whatever you got, I want.
I think you guys would work fantastic together, Charmin. I really do. I think that you and Noodles, like, even if you collaborated on whatever, but the information, what you've been through, Charmin, which you have documented over the last year that I've known you, is so like adjacent to what he's been going through that I think you guys could like join forces, and it would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, did you get my phone numbers in the private chat? And listen, I don't, whatever, but I have a very long list of things that has been happening to me in the past 3 years.
Yeah, cyber stalkers, it's real.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jake. I know you want to say something.
Number one, I think that, by the way, do you see my little comment? I said it in the private chat. What about a Kermit and Friends RV trip?
Oh my goodness. Well, she kind of just did that without the RV. She went and met a bunch of people from our community. Yeah. And Charmin she stuck out as an amazing co-streamer that was so sane and refreshing. And Joers.
I get called crazy a lot, but I'm actually very sane.
Joey too. The Joers was with her. And, I know that she met a couple of other people, but those 2 people made it, I feel like, that it's like worth it when you see that, because you guys didn't flake on her. You were there with her. You were hanging out with her on stream and off stream. You weren't hamming it up for the camera. You weren't leaving her at a table with a fake investor. That's what she needed. She needed to have that feel. And so I like the idea. I know it's too expensive, but I like the idea of Elisa doing something like that.
Actually, those were actually good streams with her and Charmin. And by the way, I'm sorry, Charmin. Sorry about what happened with you not getting elected. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I knew it was a long shot when I went into it. I did it anyways. I learned a lot from the experience. I actually got more votes than I thought I would. It turned out really well for me.
Yeah. And you know what the thing is? It's like people, here's the thing. Charmin's a good person. She's a very strong person. And sometimes you have to be, when you're on YouTube, you have to be a very strong person, because you have to deal with so many problems. People like, I know when to take when I get off this computer, I go and I deal with my stuff in real life. I don't try to deal with YouTube. Like I said before, this is a character. Jake Hudson is a character. I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Wow. This is breaking news.
My given name
that
is,
he's playing a character.
My given name is Ellis John Hudson, but Jake Hudson is my character. The character that I created is like Fred. Remember Fred?
Flintstone?
Remember Fred, the YouTuber?
I don't remember Fred, unfortunately. You know so much about all of the creators that I don't even know how anybody can keep up with you.
And by the way, and I'm very excited for now I got my 1K subs. Now I got to focus on those watch times.
Well, if I have one tip for you, Jake, this is my tip for you. Be consistent. Be consistent. If you have a show on Friday, do it every Friday.
Yeah.
If you and don't let your emotions get in the way of what you're doing, because they're going to have a lot of haters as you start getting more and more popular and or just more viewership.
People want me to do 10-hour streams.
People are going to try to tear you down. Don't let them, because when it comes down to it, nobody's opinion should dictate what you do going forward. Feedback is important, but their opinions are just part of a larger pool of ideas that you can put together. So don't be discouraged. You can do it.
Jake, you know what you should do your next live stream?
Have you on?
No. Shoot yourself with a with like a paintball gun 1,000,000 times.
No, we're not doing that.
Doesn't sound like fun.
No, I do a podcast. I actually just had adult film actress Danny G on my show from Chatterbait.
Wow.
She does Chatterbait and only.
Now, Jake, I do want to point out that Sleepstream J, who is a very prolific YouTuber, just gave you congratulations on the 1,000. That's a big deal. That was a very big deal.
And the thing is, it's like,
it's a good point too. Most successful YouTubers don't stream; they make videos. Yeah, it's a very important distinction. Yes.
You want to see something funny? When I was like talking to people, I start writing stuff that I draw because my autism acts up.
I think my autism is flaring up as we speak, because I've been drawing a bunch and writing a bunch of notes as well.
Yeah, because this show. Here's the thing. One of the things that, by the way, Meat Truck Mike is saying that I'm the new co-host of the Man Cave. I'm not. I am a contributor to that show.
Bio, don't tell anybody about my fake.
We know Johnny B doesn't have a co-host. We know Meat Chuck is just messing with you. Okay.
I will say that I believed it hook, line, and sinker, and I thought Jake Hudson was the new co-host, which made me sad because I love Meat Truck as co-host. He's my favorite co-host of all time. So I was torn, but I want to bring something up that Johnny B actually did a Jake Hudson interview, but Jake was under his other name, which is Plow Dog. And Meat Truck Mike called in during this, and Jake Hudson went at Meat Truck Mike and corrected him on a few things. I found it so funny that I actually clipped it and made a clip about it, because Meat Truck's one of my favorites. I love that guy very much. And for Jake under the name Plow Dog to be correcting him on Johnny B's behalf, it's like there's so much going on there, and it's so ironic that it blew up the internet.
Let me explain the Plow Dog thing. Plow Dog is my CB handle. I do have a CB handle. I believe in CBs are better than walkie-talkies, because you don't need with regular radio, you have to have a cell service. With CBs, you don't need those. Mm-hmm. And I love that CB. My dad was Plowboy, my mom was Plowgirl, so Plow.
Oh wow!
And basically, I'm a lone wolf, but sometimes a wolf needs a wolf pack. Ow!
That is true.
Sorry,
that is true. Okay, well, before we go too far off, let's kind of reel it back in a little bit. I want people's opinion on Ski Mask Andy, because he's been somebody that comes onto the show often now, and I know I really want to know what Charmin thinks about Ski Mask Andy, because he was a little bit dissing the girls tonight, which is hilarious to me.
Kind of his standard MO. Like, I was so nervous when I saw Lisa bring up Ski Mask Andy with Jen. I was just like, oh God, why is she doing this to this poor girl? And then he was semi-decent for a little while, and I thought, oh, maybe we're gonna get through it. And then he became himself.
Yeah. Well, I gave him a compliment. I gave him a compliment backstage because he was cracking me up and he was being really nice and supportive. And then all of a sudden he started going the other way, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like correcting myself. But
it lasted as long as it was going to last, but she handled it really well. And
see,
hopefully she doesn't get swatted after being on our show and we get to have her back again. Who knows?
Pixel Bat's funny. I really like Pixel Bat. He said, Ski Mask is trash. You're lowering your standards by giving him any attention. That's how I felt about him for a while. I don't know what to think about Ski Mask anymore because I barely know him, but he is oftentimes very entertaining. And like, he's got a lot of haters too. So either he's doing something right or something wrong.
I mean, he continually reminds me why I'm so happy to be single. Every time he gets up there and he starts talking, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say this show is a constant reminder of why I'm happy to be single. I mean, it
Sure.
really is.
It really is. It really is. Whatever this swatting nonsense is, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I need any of that in my life. No.
You see something different? You
I don't want any of that.
From last week?
You're wearing a different shirt, Jake?
No. When I was on Elisa's show last week, I was in the bathroom. Now I'm in my bedroom, and I got a new laptop.
Congratulations! Everybody,
that other one
great.
was 17-inch. I have a 17-inch, and I'm still getting used to this computer.
Yeah. Who knows what everything will be like when we come back? It'll probably be a new year. It'll probably be 2023. God knows what's going to happen with Christmas.
Well, think about the break last time. I mean, she's only been back for 2 weeks, and before that, she took a 3-week break. It felt like 5 months. So much happened in between.
It really did.
And for those of you that don't know, Charmin isn't around during the week. This is the only time I get to talk to Charmin. We don't even do any pre-production. We don't do anything. We see each other for 5 minutes before this show starts, and we catch up on what is happening. And oftentimes, the whole time, I'm just catching her up on all of the stuff that happened in between. So if we didn't do that, I mean, it could be a full show of just recapping. So that's why I think it would be important to keep it up every week.
Yeah, we could definitely do a whole show just of recaps and then be able to talk about Elisa and her stuff too, because Kermit and Friends Discord is a life of its own.
Oh yeah,
really
I'm not in the Discord anymore.
Noodles was kicked out of that Discord, which made me sad because him and Botter were both kicked at the same time. Botter was allowed back
Bob's been kicked out. Maybe I should come back.
I'm not going into KAF Discord. I'm just trying to stay out of the way of stuff because, by the way.
Well, the point is that even Noodles, I mean, I know that if he wanted to come back in, he could come back in. And I tried to, on his behalf, actually get him back in, but he's very stubborn. And I think that he might even like the fact that he's blocked out of there. I don't know for sure.
I just know what's going to happen. They're going to sidetrack everyone, and it's going to be me. And it should be all about that one person.
Yeah, and Noodles, like, I have a question for you because we don't get to talk often, but there's these constant, I mean, it's always constant when it becomes the you and Botter thing, that you and Botter are somehow working together. Will you please address that? Because I know you've addressed it to me, but there's a lot of people that are convinced not only that you're the same person, but when I prove to them that you're not, because I know for sure you're not, that they say, oh, well, they're working together. And I shouldn't say I know for sure you're not, but you've been driving and streaming with your hands on the wheel while Botter has been texting me or messaging me. So I know that you guys are not the same person unless there's multiple people running the Botter account. But can you speak to any of that?
Yeah. So in 2019, 2020, I'm not really sure. I had a channel and I gave him managerial or admin rights. So we did share a channel at one time, and it was pretty good. You know, the Botter that I knew before was definitely more friendly. He was more helpful. But again, I think he was playing me now that I look back at it. But after that, there's been no interaction besides him calling me from different numbers, me picking up and saying hello, or in a Discord where either I make fun of him or laugh at him. I don't know. I mean, that's the closest you're going to get to me and Botter being cahoots.
And that's what.
Have you ever seen his face?
No. I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's only one person that I really think it is based on what I saw, and it's a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was my theory. I don't know.
I was shocked when Botter invited me to his Discord. I went in there, and shortly after, Noodles was in there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, fuck, this kind of breaks the whole saying that they're fighting the whole time, because if they're in the same Discord, but I mean, I also get it. I mean, Bob and Yinzer are in the same Discord and they fight the whole time. So you never know.
So that Discord that I'm in with him, I was invited by someone else and it had a picture of my toe on it. And I don't know, I thought it was the other guy who started that Discord. So
I'm
How
just
do you get a
saying.
picture of your toe?
I have my
obviously
girl.
you knew it was your toe.
Well, my girlfriend from Portland came up here, and when she was up here, I mowed the lawn in my Crocs with no socks. And I got inside, and she said those are the dirtiest feet I've ever seen in my life. And she took pictures of them, and now they're all over the internet.
Now, didn't you
Why
have some
would-
like toe
why
fungus
would-
as well?
I had an accident a few years ago, and the toe never really grew back properly, so I cut it off all the time.
Sorry, Charmin, go ahead.
I mean, there's so many feet conversations here. I just want to know how your feet pics got released to the internet. Did she get mad at you? What happened here?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She gets mad at me all the time.
Is
Like,
she
I don't
better?
know.
Somebody has
No, everybody's. So that's another thing. People say that my girlfriend's bought her. They've said
She
that
had
my.
your toe pic.
I will say something hilarious though. His girlfriend went on Corey's, and Corey found out that it was actually Noodle's girlfriend, but he was so struck by her cute personality that he couldn't kick her because he hates Noodles so much. He thinks Noodles is the worst everything, but he was trying to flirt with Noodles' girlfriend, and it was like this
Trying to steal
dichotomy.
Noodles'
It
girl
was
for
so
sure.
fucking hilarious to me because he couldn't bring himself to kick
Can we
her.
not talk about him? Can we not talk about
Jake, we get
Corey?
to talk about whoever we want on here,
He's so
Jake.
funny.
I'm
He
not gonna have
switched to
any
become a
pushback on
Christian
that.
just so he can try to get my phone number. You can't trust that Corey guy.
Oh, he's the worst ever. But it was hilarious that he was going after, like, basically flirting with him.
Hey, Charmin.
Yes, Jake.
I heard. Have you ever heard of a guy named Kevin Hazlett?
No.
He. The reason I know about him is because he worked for BTLS.
I don't know who BTLS is either.
Bubba the
Hey,
Love
Prince.
Sponge.
Oh, Bubba the Love Sponge. Okay.
But he's also running.
Yeah,
for something in
Elisa,
Florida.
Noodle's girlfriend was on Corey's, and it was like one of the funniest things ever because she was so cute and bubbly and talking to him. He immediately had a crush on her, and when he found out that it was Noodle's girlfriend, he had the decision to make: do I kick him? Do I kick her because I hate Noodles and all I do is talk shit about Noodles, or do I keep her on here to flirt with her? And
No,
it
keep
was
her.
so funny, like it was hilarious.
Corey
I don't
for
even
sure was
know.
going to keep her and flirt with her and try to flip her.
Noodles,
He had
did you
to
watch
steal
that?
her.
Did you watch that? It was so funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Weezy.
Corey is one of the funniest dudes. I like him and I like Mud. And, they're very funny to watch.
I can't watch Corey anymore. After he blamed the swatting of John on me, I said, you know what? I've backed this kid up. I have been
He
so
blamed
good to
the
Corey.
swatting of John on
He's all right when
you?
Wheezy
How did
leaves,
you
he
do
gets-
it?
As soon as I left, John got swatted, right? But I was on Wendy's. I left to go on Wendy's. So all of a sudden, people start messaging me, and I see this clip of Corey saying, "Whoa, did you guys notice? As soon as Wheezy left, John gets swatted." And every time I would bring it up to him, he said, "I didn't say that." So I'd play the clip, and he'd be like, "Well, maybe it was you." And he just doubled down every time. Like he went
That's
from
the guilty
denying it to
person.
double down. And I'm like, bro, I've done so much for Corey as far as like try to keep him relevant, defend him even when it was horrible shit. I've been a friend to him when I shouldn't be, and here he is throwing me under the bus first chance he gets. And I was like, oh my god,
Because this other person said you did it. That's
yeah,
how triangulation works right there. Those are great
Yeah.
examples.
it's ridiculous.
But whoever that accusation was, that's probably who did the swatting.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hope the swatting ends. I hope that
I do
the
too.
rascal
Yeah.
stuff ends. I hope that person decides to make their own show and is hilarious in that way instead of trying to get attention from ruining other people's lives. Just start your own show. Like Noodles has a great show. One of his bits is so hilarious. He fucking goes on a black guy's StreamYard, a bunch of black dudes, and he's like, "Hey guys, could you stop saying the N-word, please?" And they're like, "Who the fuck is this white guy?" And
Yeah,
like,
that's so
those
mad
kinds
at
of
him.
things-
Call him
those
white
kinds of
boy.
things are funny as fuck. you
Yeah.
know? So, well, we're gonna end the show. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, Noodles and Jake, for coming on.
Thank you.
Charmin, I want to keep doing this with you. We'll keep in contact about it.
We will.
But I think that, you know, whatever Elisa does, we can support her by continuing to like kind of just pump her up through this show. So I think that would be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Whatever she does is going to be fun. We're going to watch. The swatting's going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can I say one thing about Elisa before we leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
ahead.
Sean.
That's okay.
Elisa, your nipples are way too big. Way too big, and you should, instead of getting that nose done, Elisa, you should have got your nipples. Sorry.
Noodles.
But your hair looks great, Elisa.
Noodles.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't believe it. Charmin, what do you have to say about that? Very rude.
I had to
Noodles.
do it.
That's just so typical. I know.
He's
You
a
can't even
rat.
control yourself. You can't
He's a
even help it.
rascal.
I had a whole theory of something I was going to say, and it was really important and enlightening, and I stopped, and we got that.
On that note, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you probably next Friday, right, Charm?
Yeah, see you next Friday.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.